Okay guys, Tony here. I tried to do a StreamYard session just a few minutes ago and it didn't record properly. There was something wrong with the audio. I believe it was something wrong with my internet here. We used StreamYard last night and it was fine. So I'm recording this video now to cover everything that I was going to cover in that session. Okay, so first of all, my apologies because the follow-up from the webinar has not been ideal. It's been pretty poor, to be honest, and part of the reason was that we are having problems with the campaign tools. Okay, the campaign tools being the in-stream ads, the DD ads and the video action ads. These are done for you campaign tools and they are not using official APIs. They were using browser control. The problem with that is because when using browser control and not using an API, then any different Google country, we can have a different interface, and that just changes everything up. It just makes a lot of problems. But then we started to get some other problems creep in as well, and it was just persistent issues that was creeping up. Now I had to take myself out of Skype for a while because I was getting people asking me for help in Skype and I didn't have an answer for them. My coder at the same time was not really well at the time, so we had some issues trying to get tech support as well. So anyway, I pulled the plug on those campaign tools, but it does not affect any other tools. Okay, if you've got other tools like the Bing Skype tool or the Tube Placement Finder tool or the Tag Grabber tool, for example, then those are still working within the AdBlasta desktop tool. Okay, I will probably comp those to you as we go through some training sessions anyway, those other tools at some point, or at least partial access to them at some point. But here's the thing with this, we built AdBlasta at the time so that we would build up different strategies, and we can still do that, but using other platforms where we can get the API. For example, we can get Quora Ads API, we can get Pinterest Ads API, we can get Twitter Ads API. So if you've installed the software, don't delete it, because there will be some tools coming out at some point for those kind of things that will be, very, very good tools to be able to have, that you can just, click a button and get some ad campaigns done. So what I want to do is, I don't want to leave people with a bad experience. I want to give you something even better. Okay, so you paid $297 for those free campaign tools in those webinars. Okay, so that was a front end offer. I want to give you replacements up to the value of $497. Okay, and I want to make it that you do not have a bad experience, that you've got something much, much better. Now, I want to cover the options that I've created for you here. If you don't like the options there, then you can just fill in the form anyway and just say that I want other options, and I'll see if I can come up with some other options. But the options I've got here are very, very strong options, and I highly recommend that you take one of the first two that I'm going to mention. And one of them is for people who are into SEO, and that is Serpentine. You'll get a lifetime license for that. I'm going to give you unlimited credits, which I was never ever going to do, but because you had a bad experience with this, I want to make it up to you. Okay, the other one, there's going to be one or the other. Okay, a choice will be Lead Blaster. And if you want to get Lead Blaster, you can do the Chrome extensions, etc. You can do the Android apps, and you can build your email list. So if you want to make money online, if you want to get into things like I'm doing, like product creation, build an email list, make money from affiliate marketing, etc., then that is a very, very good option, because I will do some training for that. We're actually in the middle of a workshop right now where we're building up some campaigns using app install campaigns, and it's really cheap to be able to get people installing these apps, these Android apps, and you can build your list, because the Lead Blaster Chrome extension and Android app both have got email opt-in gate when people install, so you can build your list really fast, much faster than sort of solo ads, and that can help you to get your foot in the door if you want to do product creation. How that will work, that I would suggest anyway, is you build an email list from doing this. It doesn't cost a huge amount of money to get thousands of people opted into your email list. Okay, it costs just a few $100s to do this. This is the cheapest way I've ever seen. It's really blown me away with the kind of results that you can get with doing this. And if you start promoting some people's product launches, okay, to begin with, and you start to make sales, you will find that they start to seek you out when they have got new offers. they will tell their friends about you when they've got launches as well. And you will see people just contacting you, say, hey, will you promote for me, and things like that. Now, that's how you can start to build relationships with these product creators. And then if you want to create your own product, you've got a ready-made bunch of affiliates there that will reciprocate for you. That's basically how the game works. Okay, that's how that works, and that means you can get into a very, very lucrative business very quickly, very easily, just by using AdBlasta. Okay, AdBlasta to build your list, do some promotions, get familiar with the people, they will get familiar with you, create your own product, and then you can get a reciprocation. You can get into a 6-figure a year business just by doing that. Okay, and it's one of the best ways to make money online. If you don't want to work for a boss and you want to work in your own terms, etc., that's a great way to do it. Okay, so those are options. I will cover them in a little bit more detail. Now, before I do that, we are still going to carry on with some training sessions. Okay, now the training you've had so far, the training that we put in the step-by-step in that Chrome extension, the traffic sculpting training, that still works. Okay, the only thing that's not working is we don't have the one-click ad creator tools. Okay, we don't have those. They're just too unreliable. They might actually still be working for you. If they are, just keep continuing to use them. Okay, we're not going to delete them. It will still work for some people. I think probably still working even for me. I think it's just affecting different people differently, maybe according to their Google ads country or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, that was only to, those tools are only to help people who really are just like beginners and to get started, who didn't know where to start, who didn't want to set up campaigns, people who might have been a little bit afraid to go and set up campaigns and follow some steps, etc. Now what I will do is I will do some training videos, and I will do some step-by-step. I won't do as a checklist this time. I'll put them into Google Doc with some big screenshots that you can follow to do each one of those ads. So we had the in-feed ads that we call DD ads within the AdBlasta tool. We had the in-stream ads, and we had the video action ads. Okay, I will map those out on Google Docs step by step so you know exactly how to do them. Okay, now once you get used to doing them, it takes literally 5 minutes to set up a campaign anyway, so it doesn't take away from the overall training. Okay, I was just using those to help people to get started quickly, and then we got into the strategy stuff. Now, strategy stuff is still solid, it still works. We're building audiences. As you build audiences, you're building your own traffic sources, because you can tap into them anytime that you want, because they're remarketing audiences that you can tap into at very, very low cost, okay, very, very cheaply, like penny clicks and stuff like that. So all of that still is relevant. The only thing different is you don't have the one-click software to go and create the ads. Okay, you're just going to have to, you know, take 5 minutes to set the ads up manually. Okay, what you can do as well is you can set up a sort of skeleton ad, and you can then duplicate that anytime you want. So you can duplicate it in 2 clicks, even faster than the software would probably work. So that's a good thing that you can do. That will work pretty well, and we will do some training on that as well. Now, I've got some training sessions coming up. It's going to be like a new mini course. It's going to be something that I wanted to do for quite some time. This is why I started to get into YouTube ads, and I need to go and revisit it, okay? Because I want to continue with the YouTube ads training, okay? This is like a mini course. I'm not selling it. I want to comp it to you and give you something that will help you long term. This is going to be a course, or a mini course. Is going to be 3 sessions that we do, and those 3 sessions we are going to cover how we can use YouTube ads to get long-term organic traffic. Okay, we're using YouTube ads to basically trigger some algorithms so that we can get long-term organic traffic, and that has to be in 3 sessions. Session number 1 is how we can get 10,000 video views to any video, and that is just a decision. Okay, that's not hard. It's nothing that you can't do. Okay, that is, you know, it's doable. I've done it many times now. You just set up a campaign. We're going to set it up with in-stream ads. You're going to set a budget, and you're going to get 10,000 views. Okay, you switch it off when you've got 10,000 views if you want, or you can continue to run it. I would switch it off at that point. Okay, I would pause it at least at that point. In session number 2, we're going to we'll talk about how to trigger the algorithms. Okay, how we trigger the algorithms for organic. Okay, now organic can mean search engine optimization, like YouTube. It can mean for for SEO, for Google rankings and YouTube rankings, I should say. But also in that mix of organic optimization is the suggested video optimization. This is the big one. Okay, this is the one where people are getting most traffic from. Okay, this is YouTube's own built-in algorithm that gets traffic that is not coming just from search. Now, if you think about it, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. But all the top YouTubers will tell you they get more traffic from suggested video than they get from search. Okay, think about how big that is there. Because YouTube algorithm knows what people will be interested in. This is like the lookalike audiences kind of thing that you will get when you're doing your remarketing. Okay, so we can trigger that with organic as well. Okay, and we need to do some specific things. So I want to cover what those triggers are in session 2, and in session 3 we'll actually do a live campaign on setting it up and optimizing. To do that, what we're going to do is we will run some SERP high retention crowdsourced video views. SERP is my tool that does the CTR clicks from the search results, and it will do high retention video views, and it will do it crowdsourced from other people. Other people will watch your video from the membership. Okay, that's one of the options for the replacements, by the way. Okay, so you can see how that works, and you can see how it can work very, very effectively. What we're going to do is we're going to use easy keywords. Okay, you might have seen me do a session on that recently, and we did a session after we did the first webinar was with Chris Jenkins and with Chad and Steve Rosenbaum. For those people that came into the training afterwards for those recorded sessions, I did something like a live demo for using easy keywords, and I mentioned the easy keywords are really important because we can use those to get CTR clicks from the search engines, even though they might not be high search volume keywords. But by getting those CTR clicks to our content with high retention views, then we have something very, very good done, because what we got those engagement signals happening. We're basically forcing Google, we're forcing YouTube to take notice of our video, okay? And it will start to rank it for other keywords as well. The key to this is your content needs to be good, even with the YouTube ad. I mean, it's the same video that we're going to use. But the key to all of it, for the YouTube ads all the way through to the organic, is that your video has to be good. So we need to look at how we structure a video, how we create our video and stuff like that. So we will cover that. Okay, it's really important that we cover that nicely so that it can be done properly. And that will give you a sort of crash course in how we can use the YouTube ads to trigger those organic algorithm triggers. Get 10,000 views, probably will reach up to 20,000 views if you do the things that I suggest. And so that you can build a business within YouTube if you have the right kind of content in the right kind of niche. Now, I'm not going to get into the niches and all that kind of stuff. I'll just cover the basics, and whatever you're interested in, you will go and do that. But I will give you the tools and the training needed. Okay, now if you're not going to take SERP from the options that I gave you for the replacements, I will give you some credits so that you can at least get a couple of videos optimized with what we're going to do in this training session. Okay, so this is like a new mini course, this is like a new course. I'm going to give you this as free training. I'm probably going to charge for this in a separate webinar, build some more sort of webinar slides and go on a webinar circuit with like another course, another training, sell SERP with it, etc, etc. But I'm going to give you some credit so that you, even if you don't take SERP as a replacement, then you've at least got some credits that you can make this happen when you do a couple of campaigns for yourself. So for example, you might think, I want to take AdBlasta, I don't want to take SERP as my replacement tools. That's fine. I will give you some credits here that you can do something. You can do enough, get enough credits so that you can get the algorithm triggers working for you. The key to this is that it doesn't actually take you huge amounts of CTR crowdsourced video views and high retention video views. It does have its own nuances that you need to be aware of, and we've been doing this since 2014, that particular strategy. We were the first ones to build any kind of tool to be able to do this, long before anybody else. We did it in 2014. It was called Search and Click Commander, then evolved into Viditech Alpha, and now we've got SERP, which is like Viditech Alpha with everybody watching each other's videos with high retention views and CTR clicks, all from the same squid proxies that they would have used on video tag. So for example, if you had 25 squid proxies on video tag alpha, you would get maximum 2 views per video per IP. So if I had 25, I would get 50 views maximum. That would be me pushing my luck a bit, okay, and to do these CTR clicks and high retention views. Now what SERPattack does is you go into the web app and you set up your campaign there, and everybody has got desktop tools, okay, and everybody with the desktop tools automatically will start viewing your video, okay, and that gets you a lot more mileage for your IPs, for your squid proxies, okay. So instead of having, if you got 10 people in a group, for example, instead of having 25 proxies that got you 50 views, well, now you've got 250 proxies that you can tap into for 500 views. Okay, that makes a hell of a difference. But you don't actually need huge amounts of these views to make a difference for your rankings, etc. And you'd be surprised how little is needed, but you want to have the flexibility. So SERPattack is a fantastic tool for being able to do that. So if you want to do YouTube ads together with SEO for organic traffic, I would suggest you take the SERPattack tool as a replacement, okay? And I'm giving you such a good deal there with that, because I was never planning to give SERPattack lifetime with unlimited credits. But I want you to walk away from this not with a bad experience. I want you to walk away and think fondly from that we fixed the issues. I gave you something better. I didn't walk away from you. I came back and made sure that we got something really good. And it took me some time to think up what we were going to do here. And sometimes you just have to go back to where you started. And that's what I started with the YouTube ads, is using YouTube ads to trigger algorithms for organic so that we can get huge amounts of views. Now if you follow the instructions I give you in this little mini course, these 3 sessions that we do here, then you will know how to drive. Probably you will be driving about 20,000 views, okay? When you're running the SERPattack campaigns in the 3rd step, I suggest you also start to do some in-feed ads at that point as well, because the in-feed ads, they are not interruption kind of adverts, okay? They don't play before the video. The in-feed ads will sit on the sidebar and people will actually see your thumbnail and click on the thumbnail, but they have been pre-qualified twice by the time they have clicked on your thumbnail, so we expect to get higher retention on those particular adverts, okay, those particular videos. We will use the same video for the in-stream ad when we get the first 10,000 views. Then we will pause that campaign, and then we will use the in-feed ad video, okay, where we pre-qualified people 2 times by the time they've watched, okay, and when they have watched a video, they will have been pre-qualified enough that we can expect that we can get some reasonably decent engagement signals as far as retention time and watch time, etc. Okay, these are important. So we will cover that. That's going to be a good little mini course and a good thing for you to walk away with at the end of this, okay? So I will put a link in later, probably tomorrow morning. I need to think about when I can get time to do this, because tomorrow morning I was actually going to run the first session tomorrow morning, but I realised I've got an appointment for COVID vaccine tomorrow. My booster shot is tomorrow morning, so I can't do a session tomorrow morning, and I don't know if I'm going to be okay tomorrow night, because when I take the first vaccine the first time, I didn't feel well for a couple of days, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a session tomorrow night or not, but it will be sometime in the next sort of 2 or 3 days that we get started with this, okay? This will be a good course, and we will give it a proper name as well. This is very, very good. Don't miss this, okay? Don't miss this. Right, now, the replacements. Here's what I've done, is I've created this little form here. This little form here, it requires you just to put in some basic information, okay? It's not meant to be a burden, it's just meant to give me the information I need so that we can find your purchase and we can replenish your purchase, okay? We can replace it with something better. So you still have that strategy, the traffic sculpting. The only thing different is you're going to have to do the ads manually, okay, and not with the one-click software. But the rest of the strategy is still the same, okay? Nothing changed there. And what you're getting instead is something far better. It's like getting an extra 2 products. You're getting the mini course for the YouTube ads and the organic traffic combination, whatever I call that eventually, and plus you're getting something very good as far as the tool options that you've got here. Okay, so let's just go through here. We need your email, an email that you actually open, okay? This is not to put you on an email list. This is just for us to contact you, because we're going to have to contact you once you made a decision here. So give us a proper email where you monitor. And we need the PayPal email you use. Sometimes that's different. I use a different PayPal email from any email that I use for correspondence, for example. I don't use my PayPal email for normal sort of Gmail activities kind of thing. You might be the same, so if it's a different PayPal, or just put in a different, whatever your PayPal email was, so it helps us to find your purchase. Okay. Now, if you go and find the email you got from Zaxa.com when you made the purchase, you will find something called a Zaxa purchase ID. If you're not sure what that is, just copy and paste the whole thing, okay, with the details of your purchase, and paste it in here. Okay, this kind of long form paragraph, kind of, you've got plenty of space there. All I'm looking for is just a Zaxa purchase ID. If you can see it, that's great. If not, just copy and paste what you've got. We will find it probably from just the PayPal email, but I do need you to try and get a hold of that for me. Okay. In fact, I'll make that not required. If you put in the PayPal email there, we might have to come back to you if you don't give us the details though, so that we can find your purchase. Okay, so next, here's your choices. Okay, now you've got 3 choices, in fact 4. Okay, if you don't like any of these choices, check this box, leave me a message in here, this section up here where we're asking for your receipt information. You can put a lot of text in here. Just leave me a message here, okay, if you don't want any of these. If you got something in mind. Okay, you've got up to the value of $497. Okay, up to the value of $497. Okay, now I suggest, if you are into search engine optimization, you take SERP Lifetime. Okay, you will never ever see SERP being sold unlimited, lifetime access, unlimited credits. You will never see that. I'm only doing this because I don't want you to have a bad experience. I want you to have a good experience. Okay. If you're into SEO, this is a very good tool where you can get those crowdsourced video views. Now, as we build up that membership for SERP, and it will probably take me a few months to build it up properly, but we need to have a few hundred at least people, probably a few thousand people. We also have another part of SERP that we're not really able to use yet. Okay, we need a few hundred, few thousand people in there, and that's to use home IPs, where we can actually crowdsource watch each other's videos from real IPs. It's going to be less views, but it's going to be real views. When you're logged into YouTube, and you can, we can do comments for each other, and we can do upvotes or likes, or etc. for each other. That kind of stuff. We can do social sharing for each other. That kind of thing. We will look into doing, adding some extra features. We've already built in home IP. It will do the views. But we can add in some other stuff a little bit later as well, such as liking and commenting and stuff like that. Okay, as long as we can work with an API, we can make that work. So SERP, I would suggest, highly recommend if you're into like the video SEO. It will also do views for your blog posts as well. It will actually go and click on pages within your website and browse those pages, and it will spend, you know, as much time as you tell it to spend on your website. So you can say, like, spend 8 minutes on my website and visit 4 pages. You can do that kind of stuff. Okay, so you would have like average 2-minute page, and that will increase things like your dwell time for, or retention time on your blog posts. Okay, so that you don't have that sort of negative bounce rate that Google doesn't like. If you've got Google Analytics on your website, for example, and it can see the activity, but the bounce off is too high, your bounce rate is too high, that's a good way to increase it very quickly. Okay, just get it crowdsourced and it's all done for you. Okay, I mean, if you were to go into Fiverr.com and get somebody to do that for you, buy that kind of service, they're probably going to charge you $100 or $200 to get that done. Okay, you can do that in just 3-minute campaign setup, quick and easy, very quick and easy. But it's, I built it really for the YouTube stuff. I built it really for the video retention, but it does work for blog posts as well. Okay. Next option, AdBlasta. Well, you've seen AdBlasta before. You've seen these Chrome extensions. You can see we can do this for checklists. We can do this, like in this instance, I've done a mini course in here. Okay. And the cool thing about these is that you can build 3 types of lists. Okay. One is completely on autopilot, that's the push notifications. Somebody installs this either as a Chrome extension or as an Android app. You can send the push notifications. Okay, you can put on here for them to have to give you an email. You can put on an email opt-in gate where they cannot get further until they give you an email, and verify the email if you want. The easiest way to do this and to build a list really quickly is to use Android apps. Okay, you can create Android apps as well as Chrome extensions. Okay, I will give you training how to do that. There's already training in the AdBlasta membership area anyway. And you put them into the Play Store, and then you can run app install campaigns. Now the app install campaigns are very, 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 very good. Okay, they're not expensive, they're easy to do, really stupid, simple, easy to do, and they get some fantastic results. Okay, so let me just show you. If you're into making money online, affiliate marketing, you want to do your own products, I would suggest AdBlasta. Okay, if you're into search engine optimization, I would suggest Serpentag, one or the other. Okay, now you can see here, let's see, I'm gonna have to show all campaigns so I can show you some results that we have got in here. Okay, so we've got this. Okay, you can see here we've got 2,420 installations. Okay, for a cost of about $500. This is really cheap. 2,000 opt-ins that could be. If I had put my email opt-in gate for that campaign, and I made it a single email opt-in, okay, that means I could have had 2,000 people opting in if all of them gave me an email. Now what you will find is some people, when you get to that point, they will say, I don't want to give an email, I'll just uninstall the app. There's nothing you can do about that. It's okay. It's cheap enough anyway, that we can play a game where we don't need to add any extra steps in there. We just put in a single email opt-in, build your email list up, and at least the people that are giving you an email address, they're interested in getting what you're offering. Okay, these are people that are probably likely to open up your emails anyway, rather than people that just give you an email, then you know, they're not that interested. You want to get some people that will be open to new offers that you want to send out. They want to be open to emails that you want to send out. Maybe you want to get people to come onto a webinar as an affiliate. Maybe you want to get people to buy something that you, with your affiliate link from a JV0 Warrior Plus launch or something like that. Then this is perfect. Okay, this is a good way that you can build your email list up quite quickly. Okay, and you can see like conversion rate is very high. Okay, for this, and you know, these apps don't take that long to make. We will need to cover some extra training for that. There's already a lot of training inside the AdBlasta membership area, but I will do some extra training on that. We're actually doing this for the workshop right now. We're actually doing this because the conversions, it's chalk and cheese, it's just completely different from the YouTube ads. The conversions are really high for minimum money. So if you want to make money online, then you can build an email list. I've never seen an opportunity like this to build an email list so fast, ever. Never. The closest I've seen is when I've done product launches, where you can get a few thousand people if you've got huge affiliate support and you've spent money on expensive sales pages and copywriting, and you've got a JV page and a really good sales pages, and you've got high converting email swipes for your affiliates to use. It's a long process to build at a launch, but if you want to get into that, this is one of the easiest ways that you can do it. Just create your email list, use it to promote some product launches, get those people to get to know you, and you know, once they start to get to know you, then go and create your own product and go to them and say, hey, I've got a product too, will you promote me? I've got a launch coming too, will you promote me? I've promoted one of two of yours already. Most of them will say yes. Most of them will fit you in. Okay, and you can get into that kind of business as a lucrative business. You can make a lot of money if you do that properly. Okay, so that's basically the options that I suggest you take. There is another option here as well. If you are really heavily into YouTube SEO, we have a tool called TubeKit. It's got about 9 or 10 different tools in there. We got like the on-page optimization stuff. We got some crazy optimization stuff in there. We got timestamp optimization. We got all kinds of cool stuff in there. That's a tool for really serious YouTube SEO people. We built it originally. I was going to make something that was to use for multiple channels for optimized, because if you look at the cost for TubeBuddy and vidIQ, for example, it gets expensive if you want to use for more than one channel. So I needed something, and I put in some strategies that came from the YouTube SEO checklist, and those strategies that came from YouTube SEO checklist, well, they came from people like Brian Dean and Neil Patel and Ahrefs, Annie Doobie, and a whole bunch of these people that are doing very, very well on YouTube. I took their best tips. I literally listened to hundreds of videos while I was doing my cycling in the morning. For every morning for an hour and a half I do cycling, and I was basically listening to about 16 to 20 videos every day for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I eventually created the YouTube SEO checklist from that, taking the very, very best tips. It's quite a process, but it was a good process, so I'm glad I did it, and I still do it. And you know, those tips that I got from them, we put it into TubeKit. So TubeKit is a kind of way that you can optimize, do the stuff that is in that YouTube SEO checklist a lot easier. We've got title optimization, all that kind of stuff. So if you're into that, then that sells at $497 as well. So you're getting a real good deal here. Okay, so I'm replacing something that you can do anyway in 5 minutes. Okay, those tools were just doing those campaigns for you, so that you didn't have to go through a learning curve. Okay, those campaigns you can do yourself. Once you get to know what you're doing, you can do it yourself literally in about 5 minutes, each of those campaigns. It's not that hard to do, and the strategy is still there, so you're getting this and on top of that as well. And plus I'm going to give you the training, the extra training for the YouTube ads and the organic. Okay, so that's the options that you got. So I think that's all I really wanted to cover. I don't want to make this longer than it needs to be, because you got some decisions to make, and I want you to, you know, have a good experience. I want you to walk away from this, and we'll do some other training. We can maybe do, I don't know if I can keep up with weekly training for, you know, just new strategies all the time. At some point I need to monetize my content as well. So I will do future courses and stuff, but we will do occasionally some extra training. We can keep the Skype group, and we will get more active in the Skype group as well. But I had to come out of Skype because people were asking for help, and I didn't know what to tell them, because my coder was not able to do the fixes, and he was not well as well. Okay, he was not able to respond. And so when you got people asking for help and you don't know how to answer them without causing more problems, and you know, it's better just to come out and get to the solution and come back in and offer the replacement and some extra bits and pieces that we're doing here. So I can make all that up. I always knew that, you know, when I come back and I can make that up to you. So I was never kind of totally panicked about it, although it was an unpleasant situation for all of us. Deeply unpleasant, I should say. But I knew deep down, you know, I can come back and give something that would be much, much, much more better, much more valuable than what you can get there with those tools not working properly. And there's just persistent problems because we were not using an official API. We had that issue before when we first built it. Then we fixed it, and I thought we got past that, but apparently not. So anyway, you got something better now, far, far better. So you should be happy with those choices. If you're not happy, just put in that bottom option there, and we can try and fix that for you. Okay, so that's it. So you got a couple of really good options there, and plus we will do the other training. I'll drop the link in when I know how I feel after the booster injection I get tomorrow. If I can do a session tomorrow night, I might do it. Probably it's going to be the day after that. Okay, so we will cover that anyway. We will address that tomorrow at some point tomorrow. Okay, thanks.